A really exciting video today. We're going through the top 20 most expensive Pokemon cards ever sold. If you're an investor, a collector, or you just dabble in the hobby, this is going to be a cool list for you. I'm going to give you a little bit of a background in each card and also the prices that they sold for as we count down to number one. So without further ado, let's get started. Hey, number 20, 2016 Black Star Promo Pikachu. Now, this sold for $32,520. It's a one-off event, and this is how the card was generated, a one-off event celebrating the franchise's 20th anniversary, okay? This is the set, obviously, or this is the year when we had Generations come out, the 20th anniversary, and the card obviously depicts the main character, Pikachu, and a little bit of a throwback to the original Game Boy games, Red, Blue, and Green, with, of course, the three starters in Charmander, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur chilling inside there. There were 67 copies of this card, so it's not, by all means, the most rare card or lowest printed card on the list of top 20, but 67 copies isn't many, and this particular example achieved a BGS Pristine 10, which, in case you don't know, is an incredibly hard grade to get. The four grades, okay, the corners, the edges, surface, and the centering all needs to grade a 10 to get the pristine black label 10, which this card achieved. Hence its price, $32,500. Number 19 on the list. This is a cool one. 2002 Mysterious Mountains Crystal Charizard. Now, funny one. This sold for $40,800, and I don't know. It seems a touch dear, this one. Yeah, okay, it's a beautiful card, Crystal Charizard. It's also the most expensive e-reader card ever to sell at auction. It's not the most expensive Charizard, mind you. We'll get to that later in the list. But there is also 134 PSA 10 copies of this card. So is it too dear? Don't know, but that's what it sold for. That's number 19. Number 18, the no rarity symbol base set Japanese Venusaur. Now, this sold at auction for $55,000. Now, keep in mind, these are all US dollar prices, so this is a crazy price for a base set card. Now, in case you didn't know, the no rarity stands for basically the fact that it doesn't have a black star in the bottom right-hand corner. So it's missing its rarity symbol. And this one in particular was signed by Mitsuhiro Arita himself, making it, I guess, even rarer. Number 17 on the list, as we keep counting down, is the Pokemon Snap Chansey. Now, in case you didn't know how this worked, it was a competition set by the Japanese show 64 Mario Stadium. And think of it like, well, Australian viewers, we had things like Cheese TV and other like kids programs that we watched of an afternoon or a morning. And I'm sure US viewers, you had those programs where there was, a few cartoons on and you could win prizes and enter competitions, and this was one of them. So you had to send off your best Pokemon Snap photo, and the winners got 15 copies of their own card that they produced. This one sold for $63,000. Number 16 on the list, Tropical Mega Battle Tropical Wind. This sold for $65,000 US. So I guess if you don't know what this was, the Tropical Mega Battle was a precursor to the first World Championships. And this was held in 1999, and there was only 12 copies of this card given out, making it an extremely rare and exclusive Pokemon card. There's probably a few on this list that you guys haven't heard of, so hopefully you might learn something from this list. Number 15, Master's Key. This Japanese card sold for $66,000, but there is 36 copies of this card known in existence. It was given to participants in 2010's World Championship. So this is a bit of a newer card. What you'll find is a lot of these cards are vintage Pokemon cards on the list. So 2010, it's getting a little bit newer. Number 14, similar to the Chansey Pokemon Snap one, this is the Gyarados Pokemon Snap one, selling for $87,000. And same thing, each winner was given 15 copies. So it's a very, very rare card, and I suppose it's maybe one of the most popular cards on here, given it's Gyarados. Is Gyarados a bit more popular than Chansey? I suppose so. Every Chansey he is. That was a terrible joke, wasn't it? Anyway, number 13. Oh, geez, I've completely thrown myself off here. Number 13, Super Secret Battle #1 trainer, selling for 90,000 US dollars. This was awarded to finalists in the Secret Super Battle in Tokyo 1999. There were 7 copies of this card given out, and they were given out to regional champions on the way to World Championships. So you had to win a regional tournament in able to pick up this card. Only 7 copies, making it a super, super rare Pokemon card. And continuing down the list, 2019 Battle Day Lily. Okay, this is a pretty damn expensive modern Pokemon card. 108,000 US dollars this copy sold for in 2023. So this tournament was a little bit different in 2019. I think the way it worked was when you went into the competition or the tournament and you versed someone, it wasn't given out just to sole winners. It was almost like a ratio or a point system based on how many prize cards you had left in comparison to the person you just beat. And the people with the highest winning percentage, I guess you'd say, would then go into a battle with someone else. And I think from the word on the street, a lot of it was like rock, paper, scissors to see what the winners got. And the winners got different packs. And some packs, or every pack, had rare Pokemon cards inside it with rare full arts. And the rarest one to get, due to the probably extremely heightened waifu tax that sort of 2021, 22, and 23 bought along, was the full art Lily card. So 108,000 US dollars this card sold for. Number 11, 2006 World Championship #2 card. This sold for $110,000. This was a trophy card to finalists in 2006 World Championships. And there is only 3 of these cards that are believed to be in existence. Number 10, we're cracked into the top 10 now. So we're done with the first 10 and we're already above 100,000 US dollars a card. Number 10, National #2 trainer at $132,000. This sold in 2023. This is a one-of-a-kind card, okay? How did it work? Essentially, if you placed in the top 3, you got a card. And this was number 2's. So if you came in second place, this is what you got. And it's from the Neo Summer Battle in the year 2001. So incredibly rare card with only 1 example. Number 9 on the list. This is another super rare example. Yamaguchi, is that how I pronounce it? #2 trainer, selling for $137,500 in 2023. So a lot of these are current auctions. This is the 2000 Secret Super Battle, and it was given to, again, second place. And there was only 1 copy of this card and 1 sale. And it's also, like the previous card, got the trainer's artwork put onto the card, which makes it super rare and super special, I guess. Number 8 in our list, we're continuing down. Here's a main set card. I'm stoked because I love to see a main set chase card on here. It gives us all hope that keep these in the background. Lugia, first edition, Neo Genesis. $144,000 in a BGS 10. Lugia from Neo Genesis was an incredibly difficult, or is an incredibly difficult card to grade in a 10. Neo Genesis, particularly first edition print run, was sort of thwart with a bit of danger, particularly print lines on that hollow pattern for Lugia. And we saw that with a lot of Neo cards where a lot of the card was a higher ratio of foil to Pokemon. Okay, we saw it in things like the Slowking, some of the Houndoom cards. It just made it a bit hard to grade a 10 because print lines were errant. So to get a BGS 10, there's apparently only 3 of these in the world graded a BGS 10, made it an incredibly rare card, selling for $144,000 US dollars. Number 7, Trophy Kangaskhan. We've probably all seen this card before. Okay, it's a very, I suppose, synonymous card with Pokemon investing, collecting, expensive card history. It has sold for $175,000 US dollars in 2023, and it was given to participants in the 1998 Parent-Child Mega Battle Tournament. So I suppose this tournament held a bit of prestige because it was something a little bit different, and there's very, very few copies of this card in existence. Number 6, a bit of a strange one on the list. I've seen this card before plenty of times, and as have you probably if you're into the Pokemon card collecting and investing space, but This is Ishihara GX Promo, $247,230 it sold for in 2021. He is the Pokemon Company founder and president, and this was given to staff for his 60th birthday. And this particular example that sold was signed by himself, making it an incredibly, incredibly expensive Pokemon card. Number 5, Bronze Pikachu. In 2021, this card sold for $300,000 US. There's only 4 examples of this card in history, in rotation, ever made, and it was awarded to runners-up in the first ever tournament in Chiba, Japan in 1997. So it's got some very, very high significance to it. Number 4, we don't have too many to go now. This is an interesting one. Wizards of the Coast Presentation Blastoise. So obviously when Wizards of the Coast got the, I suppose, naming rights or production rights to start producing the English version of this new fad and new phenomenon, which was Pokemon trading cards, this was a bit of a presentation or prototype card. There was only 2 made, and it sold in 2021 in auction for $360,000. This one, of course, graded by CGC. Number 3, I love to see, like I was saying, a main set Pokemon card on the list. And here we have, of course, first edition, a 1999 English base set Charizard. $420,000 US this sold for in 2022. This card takes or doesn't need any explanation. It is the OG chase card for most of us English collectors. It was the card that you wanted to get on the playground. It was the card you wanted to show off to your friends. It was the original chase card. And it deserves the price point that it gets. Number 2, we only got 2 to go. What is the most expensive? If you're into the hobby, you probably know what the most expensive is. But number 2, Silver Second Tournament Trophy Pikachu, $444,000 US. Second prize. This was the second place prize in the Lizardon Mega Battle tournament. There was 14 copies, or there is 14 copies believed to be in existence. And the fun fact, of course, Lizardon is Japanese word for Charizard. So there you go, 14 copies, and that is the second most expensive Pokemon card ever sold. Number 1, hey? This one obviously takes no explanation. Everyone's seen this card before. They've probably heard the hype with Logan Paul. It is the Pikachu Illustrator PSA 10, sold for $5.275 million. Okay, there was 39 copies given to winners of the Koro Comics promo contest in 1997. And there was believed to be an additional 2 copies found later on. I don't know whether this was some backups in case some were lost, but that gives us obviously a touch over 40 copies. And this one, the one that Logan Paul bought, the only PSA 10 graded copy out of those 39 plus 2 examples that exist worldwide. Well, there you have it. That rounds out our top 20 most expensive Pokemon cards ever made. Hopefully you learned something, and hopefully it inspires you to maybe collect a really important piece for your collection that has some serious significance. Anyway, I'm Michael. This is PokeOz. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. If you felt this video was somewhat valuable to you and you wanted to drop me a super thanks just to say, hey, this is what the video thought to me in a monetary fashion to thank me, I suppose, for the content and time, that would be extremely, extremely appreciated. And I'll catch everyone next time.